Hey guys, it's college football season, and finally everything's getting kicked off, and we're going to start off looking at Oklahoma versus Missouri State. A few clips from what they did well, some clips of Spencer Rattler, and some just looks at some things that they did schematically here. They actually got an empty and ran mesh, and the way that they ended up doing it was they meshed the outside guys. Alright, he's running a dig. Number 3 actually goes down the middle. Number 2 ends up digging in right there. And I think the reason why they did this out of empty, they usually hadn't done this out of empty, is because the safety over here gets outside of number 3. Safety over here stays to the 2 receiver side. I would assume to trips he's probably working that way, especially with this safety outside of number 3. But we'll take a look at it and see exactly what takes place. That ball snapping, you can see the safety right here is getting off the hash. As soon as the quarterback catches it, his eyes go to that safety, and if that safety stays wide or doesn't get directly over the top of that post that's going right down the middle of the field, he's going to end up throwing it because he knows this safety over here is going to be occupied with the bubble and the dig right here onto the backside or the mesh. But we'll continue to look at it. You can see his eyes never get off of it. Rather, his eyes just stay directly on that safety, directly on that post, and he ends up throwing that thing. You can see just a flick of the wrist, and that thing's going a shot about 50 yards, right on the money to a guy that's streaking down the middle of the field. The only guy that's even close to being able to make a play is the backside safety, and he's not able to get there. He's still 5 yards off. But you can see why Oklahoma wanted to run mesh out of empty. Hadn't really done it very often, but right here I think they knew that safety was going to hang. This safety is going to get outside of number 3, and he's going to be able to take the middle of the field with relative ease for a shot right there. And they ended up completing it for a big play and touchdown there early in the game. Here's another good look of mesh. They actually motioned their outside receiver there to the number 2 spot. They're running mesh right here with these guys. Number 2 is up running the dig or curl. 3 runs the post. The back is actually check swinging. I believe this back actually comes right here, so he ends up stepping up and taking them. But we'll take a look. They're actually running against man coverage down here in the red zone, 15-yard line. You can see right here manned up, and it looks like this mesh guy, as soon as this ball is snapped, he's looking right there, and he sees that guy's chasing. So what he's wanting to do is wanting to get a rub, make him go over the top of it. And you see he's going flat, and he sees his angle, so then he's going to go vertical a little bit, climbing to try to make that natural rub, make him go over the top of it. And you see right there going to his face mask, it kind of makes him pause. Of course, his other backers, basically a free hitter right there, so he tries to chase the mesh, but obviously he's not the speed guy that the corner is, trying to chase one of the faster guys on the field, and he's able to out leverage him. But that was one of the more interesting things on the mesh that we saw right here. It looks like his eyes go directly over there to the guy over the top of him. He sees that it's a man he's chasing, so he wants to try to make sure he goes over the top, and he actually makes him go over the top, and he pauses, and they just try to switch it off. I don't know if he's hoping that he would switch off to the other mesh, but right there, easy completion right there in the red zone, 3rd and 10. So you wouldn't think that somebody would pop that wide open on a mesh, but they end up doing that right there against man coverage. Then again, really accurate ball. Ball's on the line of scrimmage, and he's able to outrun everybody into the end zone. Here's a look right here. The clip's actually a little cut off, but they're in twins. They motion the slot receiver this direction. They know it's man coverage, so they know he's going to run. They send their outside receiver to take the safety. This fullback cuts over here to the backside, and he's going to the flats, knowing that these backers right here with this hard run action, fake right there, it's going to be a nice, easy completion for a screen. Worst case scenario is 1-on-1 with a corner. Right here, obviously, you could take 2 for 1 if it's man coverage and get our guy out in space. That's what they end up doing. So he's going to the safety. This guy's in man, so they take 2 for 1. The guy that was manned up on the fullback, which is probably this guy right here, doesn't really see it, and just nice, easy throw and catch right here. I'm not sure it's a read. I really don't think it is. I'm thinking they're probably just calling and saying, hey, we got man-to-man. We're going to try to cut this thing to the backside with the fullback and see if he can pop free, and that's what they do right there. Take 2 for 1 right there, and now they're out in space with the big guy running. Easy way to get out in space, especially against man coverage. Here's a look for a real impressive throw from Rattler, and it's just a Three wide receiver look, they're in twins, getting a 7-man pro. As the receiver here goes post corner, have a bubble right there trying to hold underneath coverage. You know it's a one high look, so they're one-on-one right here with the corner. He basically runs a vertical read out here on the outside. But you can see that ball snap, get a little fake. His eyes definitely go right here, knows that he's one-on-one. All right, he goes post, and then he goes curl, or not curl, but corner. And Rattler's probably a little late with his ball. That thing should probably get out whenever he breaks to that corner. And you can see when he does post corner, right there, he's breaking to it right there. He could probably see his angle and get that thing out right now, but he'll do it a little bit long. But then flick of the wrist, that thing is flying, spinning. You can see why he's definitely one of the top quarterbacks in the nation, even without having played hardly at all. But right there, you can see post corner, probably a little late with the ball, but just flick of the wrist and that thing is moving, and it sticks the guy right on the chest, about 40-50 yards downfield for a completion. But I thought that was one of the more impressive throws that we saw from any quarterback all day. Of course, Trevor Lawrence made a couple throws just like that, but right there, just with the flick of the wrist, that thing is moving. You can see why he's so talented and why he's already, top 5 odds for Heisman right after his first start. Here's a pretty interesting play schematically. They run a slot fade over here. They're in twins. One of their backs goes right down the seam. They're faking to the protection. They're basically trying to fake their GT. Obviously, they love running their GT. Fake right there to protection. He's going to slide with it. Basically, he knows that right here with this alignment, it's 2-on-1 with this guy, especially if this safety hangs and this backer hangs on this seam from the out from the backfield. So we'll play it right there, and you can see they're getting a little bit of slide. Here's the guard pulling, trying to get those backers to step down, and this backer steps up, so he's a non-factor for that seam. So now basically you've got 3 receivers on 2 defenders, and somebody's gonna be open. Corner jumps right there. Safety, there's no safety on the top of that fade. He looks like he's stepping down. They're even rolling that direction, but it really doesn't matter. He's stepping to that seam, and great job right here by the quarterback seeing it. Should have seen it a little bit sooner. This is going to be very obvious that you're 2-on-1 with that corner. His body language is telling you right there. Should have got off of it as soon as that happened. Looking for that slot fade right there to that guy. A little bit late to it, but still was able to throw and catch and get a completion for a touchdown. Pretty interesting play schematically. And they're able to take advantage of the defense, trying to step in and stop the GT. Another good play there from Oklahoma for a touchdown.